Hey there, and welcome to the Traveling Homesteader and Gyroscope Farm. I'm Kathy, and today's been a little bit of a busy day, and I thought I'd kind of share with you what I've been doing. I'd kind of gotten this yen, just in the idea of being prepared, to go and kind of shop some sales. And so along that vein, I ended up finding a pretty good deal on some meat, both beef and chicken. And this is my beef. I ended up getting some beef loin, New York boneless USDA choice strips, basically, at Costco for $37, about $37. And it actually ended up being just the perfect item for multiple things I wanted to cook. And so today, part of this pile that I showed you is actually several piles that I've actually set aside to make into pho. I hope I said that right. Basically, the Vietnamese soup that all you need to do is basically boil the noodles, drain it off, add the beef along with some seasoning, and pour hot water over the beef to cook it. And it's really rather simple, and it's very tasty. And so what I ended up doing is kind of roughly guesstimating for as many servings as I got out of this for what ended up being 12 portions for the pho, plus 10 servings of another thing I did on the grill, basically this beef wrapped around peppers and onions, and about another 5 to 8 servings of beef fajitas. I ended up figuring out that ended up being, I want to say 24 meals, with the protein being at $1.54 per serving. And so I'll show you some of the other things that I made too. But the next thing I'm going to do is work on chicken, because I ended up getting a sale on chicken for $1.67 a pound. And so I'm going to be making some more freezer meals with that, along with some sausage. And so I think the sausage I'm going to do with some more peppers and onions and just bake them in the oven and have some sausage and onions and put tomato sauce over it. I mentioned doing chicken next, and I took 2 pounds of my raw chicken, put it into my Instapot, just added this paste medium salsa to the mix, and put it on a slow cooker for 4 hours. I actually ended up putting it in for a little bit longer than the 4 hours to make sure it all got cooked. And then all I did was take a set of forks and start shredding it up. And so by the time I was able to get it all taken care of, this is what it looked like, and now I can freeze it into different portions. This is the beef fajita dinner, I might say, that I put together, and I'm just letting it cool before I go and freeze it in portions. So this, I was figuring I could put over rice and just sprinkle some cheese on it and have it be kind of a nice dinner. So this is the barbecued beef and peppers and onions that I had made today as well. It was just a quick grill. I made 10 portions of these so that I could share with my parents, and so they each got 2 servings, and I have 6 more servings here that I'll keep some out for a dinner or lunch and then freeze the rest to add with rice or potatoes or salad, that sort of thing, or even over some other side dishes. So by having this, I'm really kind of looking forward to having some extra food around that I just have to basically pull out of the freezer, heat, and serve. So now I'm just going to take these peppers, onions, and Italian sausage and put them in the oven and just let them bake for about half an hour. This is about as simple easy, I think, as you can get. And then I'm going to portion them out, and like I can put them on a hoagie roll or just over some spaghetti or something like that for a nice meal. And hopefully it'll be quick and easy to go on the run. So for this portion, I've already bagged some meat. Basically, it was 2 slices of the meat that I showed you before. And all I'm going to do for this is I'm going to add some better than bouillon. This is just what I prefer. It happens to be vegetable, the vegetable one. You could add chicken or beef bouillon to this. I'm just going to take a little portion. I say a little portion, but about that much. And then just stick it in the bag, kind of wipe it off in the bag. Okay, and I didn't touch the meat so it's not contaminated. Remember not to use things to contaminate. And then I have this nice large portion of chopped garlic. And since I like a little extra garlic in things, I'm going to put about a tablespoon garlic in my bag as well. And then I have this little bit of a special sauce. Now, okay, so it says Liquid Aminos by Bragg. And yes, I do use this as a soy sauce, bit of a soy sauce. And it tastes really good, less on the salt. It still has the same flavors and all that. But I reuse the bottles as well. And I, in my special sauce, have some of that garlic that I just showed you, the Liquid Aminos, plus some rice vinegar, and some other little things to have a little bit of an Asian flair to it. And so because this little bit's gonna be for pho soup or just my little Asian soup, I'm gonna take some of this and squirt it in, maybe 2 squirts. So maybe a tablespoon at most, and maybe a little more for a little extra. Now, once I'm done with this, I'm just gonna seal it, let all the air out as I can. And then I'm just going to mix it all up so that it can kind of marinate while it's in there. So it can kind of cook the meat, or not cook the meat, but marinate the meat a little bit. And this is going to be what I'm going to call my flavor pouch for my soup. Because once I'm going to just put this in the freezer, get it kind of all down in one location so it doesn't get all over the place when it freezes. But then I'm just going to kind of roll it up a little bit. And I'm going to put several in a freezer bag. So I have, again, from Costco, Ziploc freezer bags. You can get these at your local grocery store, Safeway, Aldi's, Winco, wherever. Walmart has them. So what I'm going to do is then put several packages of these in a freezer bag. And then I'm going to label my freezer bag pho soup seasoning. And that's it. And then I can just take out one at a time for when I want to go make soup. And what I'm going to do is use this with either a brown rice ramen that's like a little packet, like the ramen you can get at the store. And I'll just mix that up with that soup. Or I'll use another type of rice noodle soup, a little finer noodle soup. And then I can just, on a cold day, just make myself some soup, and I can add some green onions to it, some carrots, little things to help, just to kind of help percolate it up a little bit. So these are some different things that you can make relatively easily and kind of on the cheap to help prepare for some different circumstances. Now, I've been hearing on the news a whole lot of different things, but even if there wasn't a recession, even if there wasn't like things going on in the world, people getting sick, whatever, having some meals prepared like this is very helpful. Whether you're in a rush to go someplace, maybe you're taking kids to a soccer game or a baseball game, maybe you're between meetings for work. Maybe you just don't like cooking every night of the week. Being able to take some time to prepare some food for you and or your family, it really helps save time sometimes. And I don't know about you, but I kind of am not finding myself really wanting to cook a whole lot lately. So by setting up some things like this, I can just kind of grab and go. And today I've cooked basically 4 different meals. Well, or prepared 4 different meals. I have sausage and onions. I have a steak fajitas. I have steak and onions. Plus, I have pho soup. That's just 4, and I've made enough for 24 servings. So then I can kind of have a variety of different things over the course. And in fact, it's actually 24 servings just from this one meat. Never mind the sausage that I showed you that I put in. That's an additional set of servings. 3 to 4 servings, depending on what I use it in. So I've made almost 30 servings of food in about 3 hours, not even. So that to me is rather helpful. And so some people call it meal planning, some people call it prepping. Whatever you call it, I call it being kind of set up to not have to cook some food for myself or just do it rather quickly. So I hope that these are some good ideas for you and that you may take into consideration some things to set yourself up for being prepared. And remember, being self-reliant means like not having to go rely on other people, but it also means kind of being prepared for things that you hope might not ever happen. Like, for example, I ended up having, there's a woman I know that lives in my neighborhood. Her son just passed away this last week. At the very same time, one of her daughters was in the hospital with sepsis. So she's really busy with her family right now. And she does have some things set aside for herself, but she also has other friends and family that are helping her right now in her time of need. Somebody else I know has lost their job. And so they had some food, thankfully, set aside for themselves that they could rely on until they get another job. So it could be a variety of different reasons why you might need to have food prepared like this. Whether it's just you don't want to bother with a busy night and you just want something easy to say, oh, I have something ready for soup or something ready for spaghetti, or oh yeah, I can just grab that and go. Or maybe you just want to have a no-think night because you're just overwhelmed with life. So whatever reason you have for preparing some foods, it's so nice to have it and have a variety of things set aside. Again, make something that's within your diet. If you can't have dairy, don't make lasagna. That might not be wise. If you are, gluten-free, maybe having something like this pho soup with some rice noodles would be a good thing for you. So here's to crossing fingers that you're able to prepare some meals that are simple and easy for you, that you enjoy, and that you can use for yourself. Or if you feel the need to give to somebody else, maybe because somebody else is in need, you can make a simple, easy meal for them and just take it right to them. So thanks for stopping by the Traveling Homesteader and Gyroscope Farm. Come by again and check out what we have going on, because we always have new things coming up.